those grey eyes, I almost felt like I was making eye contact with a person. I lasted 2 weeks, then I begged Eric to move it. Can we please move the painting somewhere else? I really hate looking at it when I'm going to sleep.
It's the nicest piece of art we have. It belongs above the bed.
What about the sunflower one?
That's just a print.
He complained, and it's so basic. Come on, I'll move my Funko Pops out if you move the painting out. He heaved a long sigh.
Fine, I'll move her.
There was another thing. He often referred to the painting as her. It was weird. So as he moved it downstairs. So he moved it to the stairs, but honestly that was worse. Every time I went downstairs, there she was, staring at me from above the landing with those piercing grey eyes. At least when the painting was in the bedroom, I was usually asleep or facing the opposite direction. I hit my breaking point after a few days after that. For some reason, I couldn't sleep. After tossing and turning for an hour, I decided to grab a snack downstairs. I got to the top of the stairs and there she was. I hadn't turned on the main lights. Only the night light in the whole bathroom was on. With everything so dark, the background of the painting melted into the shadows, but the woman still stood out, with her pale face and white dress, and my sleepy, stupid brain interpreted it as an actual person standing there. I jumped about a foot in the air, and I would have fallen all the way down the stairs had I not caught the banister at the last second. Can we please get rid of that painting? I asked the next morning. Eric turned away from the stove, set the spatula down.
Why?
Last night, it scared the frick out of me. I nearly fell down the stairs. He stared at me as if unable to understand.
She scared you?
He asked slowly. Well, more like startled me. I thought it was actually a person standing there. He looked at me. Then he broke into laughter, and after a few seconds I started laughing too. It was pretty stupid now that I thought about it. I know I was sleepy, but still, I thought the painting was a person. What did I think we were being burglarized by a young, beautiful, blonde woman in a night dress?
For now, I'll move her into the office, then you don't have to look at her at all.
That sounds good. And for a while after that, things were okay. I sort of noticed Eric spending more time in his office than usual, but he also had a big deadline for a brief coming up. And how would that be related to the painting anyways? It's not like he was staring at her for hours on end. Except that's exactly what I caught him doing. One night, he didn't come downstairs to eat dinner with me. I called up to him a few times. No reply. So I went downstairs and walked into his office to find him staring at her. He was just sitting there with his computer closed, no papers on the desk, swivel chair turned towards the woman in the painting.
Oh,
He said suddenly when I walked in. Then he quickly stood up.
I was just about to come down. Just sent in the brief a few minutes ago. They're really happy with it.
He smiled broadly at me as if nothing were wrong, and then slipped past me. I listened to his footsteps thump down the stairs. Had he actually just finished working? Or was he just sitting in there staring at her? I ultimately decided not to bring it up. The painting was out of my sight.
due on Wednesday. Well, my wife fell down the stairs. I had to take her to the hospital.
Those words sent a chill through me. I barged in. Why are you lying about me falling down the stairs? His face paled. He ended the call and turned towards me.
I'm so sorry, Tara, but I needed an excuse. I missed the deadline on that brief, and it's my job on the line.
The brief? You told me you finished 2 days ago. He nodded silently. I crossed my arms. Look, Eric, your work is your business, but we spent like all of 1 hour together all week because you've been locked in showed a photo along with their self-portrait. She looks strikingly identical to her painted likeness. None of them mentioned the boyfriend's name, but it had to be Eric. The most recent article from 5 years ago was a video clip of her parents begging for a search to continue. Sadly, judging by the news article, it never did. I don't know how long I sat there. All I know is that I was suddenly jolted from my thoughts by a loud thump in the hallway. Footsteps coming towards the office. I shut up. He can't find me in here. I glanced around the room, looking for some place, any place that I could hide. But it was probably too late. Surely he'd seen the light on from under the door. I ducked under the desk just as he stepped into the room.
Tara.
I clapped my hands over my mouth, trying to silence my ragged breathing. He's going to see the chair out of place. He knows I'm here. He knows.
Tara, you in here?
Why did I hide? I could have just said I came in here because I heard a noise. Needed a pen. Couldn't sleep. Why the frick did I hide? Now he's going to know that I know.
Tara.
But maybe it's fine. Maybe the bear got Anya. Maybe Eric had nothing to do with it. Isn't that more likely than Eric being a murderer?
There you are.
I looked up and screamed. Eric was crouched there in front of the desk staring at me. I was looking for a pen. I stuttered lamely. I wanted to write down and remember. I have to pick up groceries tomorrow and I needed to add something. He tilted his head, a small smile on his lip.
I don't think that's the truth.
Make a break for it. I started to lunge out from under the desk. His hand quickly shot out and grabbed my waist hard.
You figured out who she is, didn't you? That's the only reason you'd be hiding from me.
I trembled in his grasp. What did you do to her? I whispered. He let out a dry laugh.
So, you think I'm a murderer? How nice. That's the first conclusion you jumped to.
No, I don't think you're a murderer. I swallowed. Stupid, stupid, stupid. If he killed her and he knows you know, then you're dead too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Just what happened? They didn't find a body. Did the bear get her? He didn't reply, just stared at me silently with those cold dark eyes. I was jealous. I continued desperately. But now I understand. I wish you just told me to lose someone like that. Of course you want to keep the painting. It's all you have left of her.
You should have just left it alone.
He said, his tone utterly emotionless.
I'm sorry you had to find out this way.
I screamed as he lunged for me.
It's over.
His hands were clenched tight on my wrist as he dragged me out from under the desk. I pulled back, trying to wrench myself free, is just so good and so warm. I loved it. Yeah, sorry, that wasn't related to the story, but yeah, it's always so scary to have a portrait painting, a realistic portrait painting of someone in your house. It's just so creepy. Anyways, if you enjoyed, please do like,